Well, the 2020 NFL Draft has officially come to an end. The Steelers find themselves with 6 new players in the draft class, weapons on offense in the form of a wide receiver and a running back, protection for Ben on the O-line, and an edge rusher who was a former walk-on, a safety with special teams potential, and a defensive tackle to round things out. So how does the draft class look? What are these guys bringing to the Steelers? I figured the best way to break this down was splitting them into 2 groups, solid picks and picks I have some questions about. Now, guys who were solid picks in my eyes: wide receiver Chase Claypool, guard Kevin Dotson, and edge rusher Alex Highsmith. On the other side of things, 4th round pick Anthony McFarland leaves me with a couple of questions, mainly based on his injury concerns. Another player I'm wondering about his fit more than anything is 6th round pick Antoine Brooks Jr. I'm also interested to see how 7th rounder Carlos Davis will develop in the NFL. Now, I really love a lot of what Chase Claypool brings to the table with his combination of size and speed, as well as his ability to win one-on-one battles. Brian Kelly, his coach at Notre Dame, said there's no question about his physicality. At the point of attack, he will dominate defensive backs. No doubt that speaks to Claypool's competitiveness.
Being ultra competitive is kind of just who I am. I've brought that since day one. Kind of came in with a chip on my shoulder, and coming from Canada, not a lot of guys, give that respect off the bat, as you could imagine. So respect was kind of earned for me, and that was through kind of tough physical play and just being competitive. So there's definitely been some situations where it might have been too competitive in a situation, but I'd rather be too competitive than not competitive at all.
All right, check this out. This was 4th round selection Kevin Dotson getting some pre-draft work in. He's pulling a pickup. Are you kidding me? Oh, yeah, and he just so happened to grow up a lifelong Steelers fan.
No, they've always been my number 1 team. Like, I've followed them since I was about 5, Even in my house, we have a big old man cave, and it's all Steelers decked out. I've been following them forever. My favorite player used to be the bus. All my passwords used to be have 36 at the end of them and stuff like that, just because of that. So now that this is happening, this is just ridiculous. I couldn't even imagine this happening.
Well, it's happening, Kevin. The Steelers needed to find a guard for the future like Dotson. He's incredibly powerful, has experience blocking in multiple schemes, and is also an effective combo blocker. Now, scouts and analysts said there was plenty to love about him, especially what he told us today when it comes to the way he intimidates his opponents.
I feel like I can win any play that I do, so I'll tell them the play, and, they just have to try to find a way to do it when I know that they can't. So if I tell you the play and you still can't stop it, it hurts you. It hurts your morale way more.
Alex Highsmith has an incredible story and an even higher ceiling. The edge rusher from UNC Charlotte was actually a walk-on with the 49ers. Last season, though, he was 4th in the nation in sacks and 5th in tackles for a loss. I covered Highsmith in the Bahamas Bowl. I remember looking at his numbers while doing research and just being blown away. There's no doubt the NFL will be a big step for the edge rusher. GM Kevin Colbert told us they don't think he is anywhere near where he might be down the road. And Highsmith says he's ready for the challenge.
Me being a walk-on, I have a mentality, and a work ethic, a lot of people don't have. So, that's one thing that I feel like I could bring to the table, and they know that I bring to the table. So, I think me being a walk-on, is a cool part of my story. It's just something, that I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. And so it's just, I've always had this walk-on mentality, ever since I got to college. So that's just something that I'm bringing to the NFL as well, and just a mindset that I'm going to have in everything I do.
Now to more on the players that just leave me with a couple questions. Anthony McFarland has dealt with numerous injuries during his career. He broke his leg in high school and missed his senior season. He also dealt with a high ankle sprain all of last season with Maryland. However, when he's healthy, there is upside. Last season, with that high ankle sprain, he tallied 8 touchdowns on 114 carries. His best film actually came back in 2018, where he ran for over 1,000 yards, including a 298-yard performance against Ohio State. When he gets into space, he is a big issue for defenders. I also like the fact that his best season at Maryland came under Matt Canada, the current Steelers quarterbacks coach.
He gets to 0 to 60 really quick.
quick to speed and has shown the ability to hit the long ball. So, that's a little bit of a change from what we got. We have those people who are capable of doing it, but he, when you compare him to the likes of, the Connors and the Snells and that, he's a little different type of runner, which I think makes us more valuable as a group.
For 6th round pick Antoine Brooks, my biggest question is just going to be kind of where does he fit more than anything. I see the safety taking on some sort of special teams role. I do like how the Steelers also added to the defensive line with 7th rounder defensive tackle Carlos Davis, but there's some schematics that do worry me, including his effectiveness on the move. And as the virtual draft ends, virtual OTA programs begin. We'll see how the NFL and the Steelers continue to adapt and make adjustments, and we'll bring you the latest both on air and online. I'm Jenna Harner, Channel 11 Sports.